SuperNorth.com.
But we got a team in here. And this is like a chant. Now every time I be we go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, let's get it. Let's get it on this 4-question Friday. Purple Daily, Mackey Judd, executive producer Declan, presented by TCL. Enjoy more of what you love with TCL. And boys, we had some breaking news come down yesterday that I don't know if it was entirely surprising, but I think the way in which it went down was surprising, like in terms of the trade value. So 4-question Friday, we're going to start out with a dissection of the Mike Hughes era. Hopefully you didn't blink through the Mike Hughes era of Vikings football. But this episode and 4-question Friday are presented by our friends at PXG. And you know what? PXG is here to help you improve your golf game. So if you're looking for some great sticks, as they call them, PXG Minneapolis is packed full of Gen 4 clubs, drivers, fairways, hybrids, irons. They've got the 0-11 golf clubs, which are priced a little bit more within reach. And they've got great apparel, spring and summer apparel, if you just want to look good in golf clothes as you're walking around. PXG Minneapolis in Southdale Center. Find out more at pxg.com/Minneapolis. All right, boys. Question number 1. The Vikings traded Mike Hughes to the Kansas City Chiefs yesterday. So, and what was the pick swap? They traded Hughes
and a seventh rounder
to get a sixth.
To get a sixth next year. Yep.
So they're basically just dumping Mike Hughes, who's had a knee, he's had a neck.
Yeah, twice he's had a neck.
Yeah. So there's some injury issues there.
Yep.
Question number 1 is, what is one word to describe the Mike Hughes era, former first-round pick?
Disappointing.
Yeah.
Disappointing.
Dex?
Bust.
I bust. I'll go bust.
Yeah. Bust.
Now, some of it's, injuries. Matt Khalil was a bust. He got hurt too. So it might be unfair if injuries lead you to bust territory. But, 7 starts in 3 seasons for Mike Hughes as a first-round pick cornerback.
Yep.
And this is such a hindsight is 2020 scenario, but the Vikings were wrestling with their quarterback situation in the offseason before that 2018 draft. They were trying to figure out, okay, we just went to the NFC Championship game. Case Keenum was great. How much do we trust Keenum? He was great for like $3 million. Do we want to pay him the $18 million that Denver eventually paid him? And then they settled on Kirk Cousins for $30 million a year guaranteed, and then the rest is sort of history, right? Well, and then they drafted Mike Hughes in the first round. Well, what they could have done, and again, hindsight 2020, they could have brought Case Keenum back on the same deal that Denver signed him to, which is basically a 2-year deal with guarantees for 1 year, right? Like $18 million, so less than Kirk. Let it ride for 1 more year, and then take in Lamar Jackson with the 30th pick in the first round.
Yep, which is what our old friend Matthew Collar at that time
he was pushing for the first guess.
Was pushing for a first guess. He said at the time, you take him, you take the quarterback. You're picking at 28. The Baltimore Ravens were picking at 30. Now, would the Vikings have developed Lamar Jackson like Baltimore did? I mean, keep in mind, to the credit of the Ravens organization and John Harbaugh literally said, let's draft the kid and change our entire offensive scheme. Like, that takes big cojones and a coach that is really progressive in thinking. Zim probably wouldn't have said that. But that being said, there was definitely a path. And the interesting thing about passing on Jackson was you didn't pass on him at, let's say you thought he was good but not great, and you weren't quite sure how his play would translate. You didn't pass on him at like 8 or something like that, where it could have been just judged far too early to take a guy that might be a project and clearly turn into a really good quarterback. But at 28 or 30, can you roll the dice there and take that gamble a little bit and say, okay, it either worked out fantastic or it just didn't.
Yeah.
Well, you're in the very predicament of it didn't work out with Mike Hughes. So, I mean, there was a case to be made that it would have been easily worth the chance. And Mike Hughes, it's just incredibly disappointing. My one thought about Mike Hughes is this. I wonder if he's not going to pass the physical in KC or something. Because, I mean, they literally just gave him away, and he wasn't a bad guy. Like, it's not like he was a jerk. So I wonder if the Vikings doctors were like, this is going to be really, really, this is good. This is going to be close. And the Chiefs said, we'll let our doctors take a look. And the Vikings said, that's fine, then take him. Because, I mean, think about the trade.
The only reason why you would dump him, because it's not like your salary cap situation has already played itself out, right?
And he doesn't save you that much.
You're only doing it because you're concerned about his deterioration physically.
Yes.
So that's what this is, right? You're not like if he was physically ready to go even at 75% of what he was, you'd keep him around for depth. And so I think the next question is, now that you've just like given him away to the Kansas City Chiefs, and Jeff Gladney's going through this legal situation right now. What do you make of the Vikings cornerback depth? Patrick Peterson, you've got 3 starters. You got Peterson, you got Dantzler, and you got Mackenzie Alexander in the slot. And so I think you feel pretty good about those 3 stars. I think Dantzler might be their best cornerback of those 3 when it's all said and done.
Sure.
But like Hughes is gone, and if Jeff Gladney is going to either miss time via suspension, or if they feel the need based on the information we've seen so far to flat cut him, who's next?
Well, you've got 3 guys on the depth chart that are behind those 3. You've got Chris Boyd, Harrison Hand, who played some. Boyd played quite a bit last year. And then there's one more player. So if you like those guys and think that they're going to develop, they could be next. My guess is they go sign a veteran guy, right? Like they sign one more veteran guy who doesn't have to play a ton, but can play, because you are really thin now. And you got to figure that one of those 3 starters at some point in time is going to get hurt and banged up. I mean, I think the ultimate concern about Dantzler is not his performance, it's his health, because he's a sort of a slight dude and got hurt quite a bit, got a concussion last year. So I'm guessing that the Vikings within the next month or so are going to go out and sign a veteran for a very favorable price, but just to give themselves insurance there. Because, again, you can't go through what you went through last year, which, yes, was bad luck, misfortune, injuries, but it also was flat out not being prepared.
I'm on PFF.com right now. They have an article from a couple weeks ago. So this might be correct me if I'm giving you outdated information that may have changed in the last 2 weeks, but their number 1 remaining cornerback in free agency is Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman is not signed yet.
He is not.
Right?
He is. I think the Vikings talked to him at one point, but he is not signed.
Now, wouldn't that be kind of fun? Richard Sherman and Patrick Peterson in the twilight of their career. I don't know what you would do then, because then Dantzler moves to the bench, I guess, because he's not going to play slot, is he?
Yeah, I was going to say, if you signed Sherman, who I think is looking still to get paid, and that's the problem. If you signed him, he would have to start.
Yeah, he's an
and
outside guy.
And I want Dantzler to start. I want a suitable depth guy here who's not going to be a train wreck.
So the next guy, I think Sherman, obviously that would be fun. I don't know how you do it. I think you're going to ride your current outside starting cornerbacks. So you're looking for more backup depth, right?
Great.
The 6th best available free agent overall and the 2nd best cornerback free agent is Brian Poole. So he's projected to get a 1-year, $2 million contract. At 5'9", Poole very much fits the mold of a slot cornerback at the NFL level. He's always been solid in that role. After moving to the Jets, he was better than solid, posting one of the highest PFF coverage grades from the slot over the past 2 seasons. He allowed just 1 touchdown and a passer rating of under 70 when targeted over that stretch. So, like, you could bring a dude like that in for a couple $1 million, and now you've got Mackenzie Alexander and Brian Poole as slot guys. Maybe one of them can move to the outside as needed if there's injuries. So, but something to monitor. I mean, this was not the plan for Mike Hughes to just be done and cooked, or whatever the word is after 3 years.
It's a first-round pick. And Dex did tweet out after that trade. What was it, Dex? Spielman's last 5 or so first-round picks.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of misfortune and just bad picks in that.
Yeah, the last 5 first-round picks, not including 2021. Justin Jefferson, All-Pro. Garrett Bradbury, probably trending towards a bust, but still, jury, I guess, still out.
Give him one more year for sure.
And Gladney, too.
Gladney's in limbo. Yep, Gladney's in limbo from 2020.
Yep.
Mike Hughes traded. 2017, he didn't have one, or you can call it Sam Bradford.
Yep.
And then 2016, Laquan Treadwell cut. So, first round misses, man.
Man. Yeah. Interesting. All right. So, well, the Mike Hughes era comes to an end, and we'll see what that depth looks like. All right. Question number 2 for you guys here on this 4-Question Friday. Alex Rodriguez and Mark Lowry just bought the Timberwolves for $1.5 billion. That deal is being finalized, finally. If the Vikings had to be sold to a former athlete, like an A-Rod, who would you want to buy? Which former athlete that might have at least enough money to put together a group with more money would you be interested in?
I've been racking my brain on this.
Yeah, this is tough.
Because I don't want it to be like just some boring guy who's rich, okay? And it hit me. I want 2 guys who are, by the way, co-workers right now. I want them to step up and buy the Vikings. And that would be Shaq and Barkley. I want them to own a team together because their fighting on TV is ridiculously fun. I can only imagine the debates and what would happen if those 2 owned a professional team. Barkley and Shaq are my choices.
What are the? I'm gonna Google. How much money do you think those guys have? Shaq net worth.
Barkley gambles a lot of his away, to be honest.
What do you think Shaq's estimated net worth is?
Ooh, I think it's huge.
Gotta be pretty big, man.
By the way, he had a Florida mansion put on the market for like $20 million recently. So there's
tough
that.
life.
Okay, celebritynetworth.com. What do you think Shaq's net worth is?
Dex, you want to take a shot at this one?
I'm so good at money and math. I would say 500 million. I don't know.
Pretty close. 400 million.
Oh, okay.
400 million.
Good job, Dex.
So obviously you're going to need partners, but like if Shaq ever wanted to get in the game, he's got enough net worth to start a group.
Yeah. And Barkley could be in that group.
I'm here for that.
It would be great fun.
The A-Rod thing, I think Mark Lowry, what you got to do is this is actually kind of a perfect partnership on paper in that if A-Rod wasn't such a slime ball, but like get the public figure athlete that everyone knows and hates in this case. So, but then Mark Lowry is the real centerpiece, right? So it'd have to be Shaq and then like the next Mark Cuban type, right? That partners with him and then they run the Vikings. But I got to say, there's a lot of bad sports owners out there, and we've had a couple bad ones here in the Twin Cities. And the Wilfs have not brought a championship, but you could do a lot worse than Mark and Ziggy Wilf in terms of a group that owns your favorite football team, right?
Absolutely.
Or you could have what the Packers have, which is a bunch of fat people who live in Alaska with a certificate, right?
Yeah, net worth of
Packers
30.
owner.
I have a net worth of $40.
Go down to the ground round and watch my Pickers.
The ground round, careful.
Don't rip the ground round.
Yeah, I love the ground round. I love the ground round.
Peanuts on shells on the floor. It's great.
I love the ground
Very
round.
Texas
it was a
Roadhouse.
staple of my youth. Staple of my youth on White Bear Avenue.
Ground round is
Staple of my
solid.
youth.
Question 3 is presented by our friends at Federated. Federated has been helping business owners in the state of Minnesota for over 100 years. Based in Owatonna, they're one of us. They're Minnesota sports fans. I've had a chance to get to know these people over the years, especially coming out of this pandemic, and now mask restrictions mask restrictions are just going to be a thing now going forward. So make sure that your business is protected, that your business is communicating this the right way to your employees, and find out more about how Federated can help you with all of these things at federatedinsurance.com. At Federated, it's our business to protect yours. All right, boys, question number 3 here. So every year, there's roughly 50% turnover among NFL playoff teams. So in the NFC, and now there's 7 teams, so you're not going to have exactly 50%, but in the NFC, which 3 teams from last year's playoff group are going to be out if the 50% rule holds? I'll give you the teams from last year. Tell me which 3 teams are out, and then which 3 teams have the best chance to replace them. So Packers, Saints, Seahawks, Washington, Buccaneers, Rams, Bears. Or more. Maybe it's more than 3.
Right.
Out, Washington. See you later. Green Bay.
Goodbye.
Jordan Love. Yes. Bye-bye. And my last one, the Saints. I still like the Saints, but you're going from Drew Brees to Jameis Winston? Some Taysom Hill? I don't know that you have, like, you're going from a quarterback whose play had declined, but still had a historical presence on the field to a guy that, probably will be starting, who threw 30 plus picks or 30 picks with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, that in 2019, that's truly horrendous. So I'm going Washington, Green Bay, New Orleans, boys.
What about you, Dex?
I have the Redskins, Bears, and Packers coming out. I have the Vikings, Niners, and Eagles coming in.
Okay.
So I think the Niners bounce
The
back.
Eagles.
Well, the NFC East is a GD still dumpster fire. Let's be it's going to be probably another 8-8.
I don't have Philly yet.
Or 8 and whatever that math is. I'm not even going to try to do it right now. Okay, I'm not even going to try to go.
Question number 4.
8 and 9 is
Declan,
17,
two records.
2 plus 2.
8 and 9 is 17.
God, dude. Okay, great. 8 and 9.
This man was bad at math. Who is Declan Goff?
Yeah.
St. Cloud State, everybody.
Go Huskies. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have Jalen Hurts, and of course my guy Jalen Hurts and the Eagles rising up. So yeah, Redskins, Bears, Packers out, Vikings, Niners, and Eagles in.
I've got in Philip. I have the Cowboys, the 49ers, and the Vikings. I'm still going to, as bad as it bit me in the ass last year, I'm going to ride this Cowboys thing a little bit. I think San Francisco comes back really strong because they're just a good team and they're well coached, as we talked about yesterday. But then my third team, the Vikings. I think the Vikings should win this division. So they're definitely be in the playoffs.
So I think Green Bay, especially if Rodgers is out, Saints, when you lose Hall of Fame quarterbacks, you're just good luck, right? And then I would say, so I'm gonna take the Bears out. But it wouldn't shock me if the Bears got a jolt from Justin Fields in the second half of the season. Like he might step in, and maybe he steps in and he's just awesome right away, right? But the team that I'm gonna put him on notice here, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. No matter what we've seen so far of Brady, he's 45. All right, at some point, he's gonna get hurt. Like I don't even know if his play is gonna decline, but like that dude's gonna take a hit and just crumble at some point, right? Yeah. He's great at not taking hits.
Yep.
But I don't know. I don't know if you can replicate that the way that they did. So I'll just put them out there. But I think the Vikings step in. Mm-hmm. I do think the Cowboys step in. I'm leaving Washington in too. I think there might be 2 playoff teams there because I think Washington's so well coached with Ron Rivera and they took so many strides last year. Quarterback is a huge question mark, but I like the way they're trending. And then I think the Cardinals get in. I think this is the year that they finally take that next step, get to like 9 or 10 wins, and make it happen. So. Yeah, the NFC doesn't have. I mean, there's a couple pushovers, but even the pushovers, Dan Campbell might make the Lions feistier. We think that he's a joke, but maybe he makes the Lions feistier.
Campbell's going to make them feistier.
No, I'm posing the question.
The one thing about the Buccaneers where I will agree with you, and I've been hearing this more and more recently, and it brings back terrible flashbacks to the 2010 Vikings. They keep talking about the Buccaneers have everybody back from last year. The Buccaneers have everybody back from last year. How many times do I have to tell you in football that's not a good thing? Like, that's not a good thing. Do you remember that 2010 Vikings? Everybody's back. It's going to be another run. It fell apart. People get old quickly. I mean, football is a terrible sport. It's a brutal sport. And this whole thing of, well, we got our entire team back. This isn't a baseball team. So I am very anti no changes. Everybody's back. I think that actually works against you.
Yeah, I mean, it can. It definitely can. Now, when you won the Super Bowl, I think it's better than when you try to run it back as a non-Super Bowl team. Like when you're the Vikings and you come up short and then you try to run it back. It's like, what do you expect, especially if it's a bunch of veterans? But yeah, I think that's a fair point. Okay, question number 4 here. It's our random would you rather question of the week. Mm-hmm. Would you rather be forced to live the same day over and over again for a full year or take 3 years off the end of your life?
Oh, this one's easy for me.
Yep.
I'm taking door 2. Just kill me.
What?
Kill me early.
Well,
3 years at the end of my life. Well, first of all, you're not telling me how long I'm going to live for. So like if I was going to get to 86 and now you're cutting it off at 83, I don't give a crap.
Yeah, but you'll give a crap when you're 80.
But why would I want to relive the same day?
It worked out well for Bill Murray.
Did it?
I don't know. It did. Yeah.
He learned. Bill Murray transformed his life in that Groundhog Day movie. He transformed his life. He became a more empathetic, caring person. He met the love of his life. Think about all the things Bill Murray was able to learn And by the way, here's the other thing. When you live, I would choose, if it's not clear already, I would choose Groundhog Day over and over and over because you could get a 1-year head start on the rest of society. You could spend the whole year learning and learning and learning and teaching yourself a new skill set, and then you're ready to jump out in front of everybody once it lifts.
Do you know how boring that would be, though, to live the same day over and over for a year?
Do you get to pick the day? Like, if there's a day you've already had, do you get to pick the day? Or is it just like, right now, today on May 14th, we have to just keep reliving May 14th?
It's got to be today.
Okay. Then I'm definitely taking door number 2.
I'm dying.
And you know what? At least you don't have to wear a mask. There you go. Judd's going to keep his on. So you're going to keep your mask on every day, even though
in the hallways, I'm keeping my mask on. It cuts small talk out of the equation. No one's going to stop me and be like, "Hi, Judd, how's it going?" if I have a mask on.
Okay, here's a question: If your only reason for wearing a mask going forward is to avoid small talk, why not wear a different? Like, why not wear a goalie helmet or something? Could you just wear a goalie helmet around the house?
Because that's more attention.
Exactly.
My sports dad, I get him.
No, he's exactly right. Why? Okay. And I don't want to. So here's the thing about life to me. It's all about subtlety, okay? If I wear a goalie mask, I am telling people to F off. Like, that's me being a complete jerk. If I say I'm wearing a mask because I'm still cautious about germs, you might not respect me, but you can't debate me. Like, because I'm not going to debate that. I'm going to be like, this mask is on because
you're like Stephen A. Smith. You don't debate for free.
I don't debate for free. I don't debate for free.
I don't debate at the water cooler.
But I mean, do you know what this can do to cut down on small talk?
Are you more concerned about another global pandemic or a pandemic of small talk?
Oh, God, that's not even close. Oh, give me the global pandemic. Because then I just stay home. Like, if nobody would have died during this, and they did, which absolutely sucks, and it's really, really sad. But if nobody would die and everyone could just stay home, I'm cool with that.
Would you rather have to engage in 30 minutes of uncomfortable small talk with acquaintances and strangers, 30 minutes every day for the rest of your life, or lop off 5 years off the end of your life?
He's still taking door number
2.
What years are we talking about? Can you clarify?
It could be.
I'll say life expectancy is like 75. So you die. I'm going to make even more aggressive because I know you'll say 10 years. So instead of dying when you're 75,
so
you're
just one day?
You're gonna die in like 14 years. But you can live another decade if you agree to engage in 30 minutes of small talk with acquaintances or strangers, not close friends, acquaintances or strangers.
Just once
per day, but 30 minutes per day for the rest of your life.
Oh, I'm dying. Yeah, I'm not doing that. No way.
Unbelievable.
No way. I do it once.
You're lopping 10 years off your life. You're going to die when you're 65.
A lot of people die early. It happens all the time.
It does.
It happens all the time. Yeah, getting from 69 to 70 is a major milestone. A lot of people don't. I mean, if I'm just a statistic, but I don't have to talk to people. I mean, you're talking about once a day for 30 minutes? Like 5 to 10 minutes, I think I'd go along with that and live. You're 30. You know how long?
Did you see the game last night?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was a heck of one. How about what's that kid's name again? What's that goalie's name again? Yeah, Cam Talbot. He's not a kid. He's in his 30s. I can just see how the small talk goes.
How do you think the Wild's going to do in the playoffs?
Do
we have a chance?
God, dude. I have a bachelor party this weekend, and I know, and there's a good portion of these dudes who I really don't know very well. Like, I know of. Yeah. And they obviously know what I do, and I just know I'm going to get cornered by at least 2 to 3 of them who I don't know, and they're going to be wanting to know every Minnesota sports.
I'm telling you.
And here's the worst part. They will then tell the people who don't know you as well, yeah, this is Declan Goff. He works at Score North, and he covers the Wild. And the next thing, you will have dude bros trying to tell you.
They're going to try and take you down. They're going to try and go, right. It's a takeoff.
Because you're a threat.
Listen, Declan and I listened to the Stephen A. Smith on Kyle Brandt's 10 Questions podcast. And Kyle said, you must get, like, when you're walking around arenas and grocery stores, you must just have people come up to you and want to debate you about sports, right? And Stephen A. said, I don't debate for free. You want to come and give me your opinion? I say, that's fine. That's your opinion. I don't debate for free. Declan, Listen, man, you're
that's
on
not
Purple
fine.
Daily. You're on Mackey and Judd. You are at the pinnacle of
Oh,
your profession.
co-host
You
of Judd's
don't
hockey show.
debate those dude bros for
No.
free at that bachelor party.
No, but that's not the point. Dude bros won't want to debate Declan. They'll want to tell him what's what, so he's trapped. So it's not like, look,
the
I've
worst.
seen this before. 5 to 6 beers in, they will try and show their friends that they either played hockey or know more than you do. They won't be debating you. They'll be telling you what's what, and they won't care if you talk. And at that point, you are trapped. It's a nightmare. Like, this is going to be a hell for you.
I feel like Judd builds up small talk with strangers in his head more
Like,
than it
yeah,
needs to
like
be.
it's the ACT or something. Like, seriously.
Do you know what's going to happen? I'm telling you, they're going to corner
Nothing's gonna happen.
they're going to corner you, and they're going to tell you. And the worst thing is this: it's all guys. But the one place where guys care more about impressing their friends being guys than girls is sports talk. So
Yep.
like, this is going to be like you're surrounded by a bunch of hot chicks, because in their
I'd rather be
mind,
there.
they're like,
I'd
no,
rather
I know,
be
I
door
know.
number one.
But my point is, they'll be trying to impress their friends to show that they can take down the great Declan Goff. And so they're going to be like, oh, Kaprizov doesn't do this. His forecheck's all wrong. Don't you know that? Your life. I mean, if I was you, I'd bail right now. I'd tell him I can't go to this bachelor party.
Life advice from Judd Solkat.
Stay home. Stay in your apartment with your booze. You are a rock.
I
You are an
usually
island.
do that. I usually do
I
that.
know,
Not always,
but the Simon and Garfunkel credo is absolutely right. I am a rock. I am an island.
Okay, what needs to happen for you to introduce yourself to everyone with a firm handshake and solid eye contact as Declan Goff from Judd's Hockey Show all weekend long? Hi, Declan Goff, Judd's
Hi,
Hockey
Declan
Show.
Goff. Well, I usually love to do Hi, Declan Goff, St. Cloud State as like a joke. Like I do that sometimes just for S and giggles. I would need to be paid. I would
Hi,
need,
Declan
like,
Goff, Vikings vent line.
I would have to be paid.
Good to meet you, sir. Yeah, see?
Yeah.
All right, that's a wrap on Four Question Friday here, presented by
There we go.
TCL. We'll see you guys tomorrow here. Daily Vikings Entertainment, Apple, Spotify, ScoreNorth.com, ScoreNorth app. And if you're into watching ugly dudes with bearded faces, or in Declan's case, clean-shaven face, baby face,
care.
YouTube, Purple Daily. Click that subscribe button, click that like button, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.